Good afternoon, everybody. Doug Jenkins with the Findlay Hancock County Chamber of Commerce, joined by Stephen Shultz of Marketing Caffeine as we meet our new members. Just realized I didn't have the right backdrop. Now we have the right backdrop, Stephen. We are meeting new members today. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thanks for having me, Doug. I appreciate it.
So let's get familiar with the business. I know a little bit about marketing. I know a lot of bit about caffeine. Tell me how they come together.
Yeah. So, the name Marketing Caffeine is just kind of the name that we came up with when we were deciding, hey, what are we going to name this digital marketing company? And also what URLs are available. So, so as we pitched some ideas out there, eventually the one we liked was Marketing Caffeine and the URL was available. So that's what we settled on. But we're primarily in the digital marketing space. So we focus on specifically small businesses and provide digital marketing to those small businesses in a way that is effective in the local areas, as opposed to working with a company from out of town that just has a general template filled out that might not work for some local businesses.
And I think that's really the important part of the equation there is the dynamics can be different from city to city, county to county on what you're trying to do, especially as a small business. So having someone familiar with the area and experience in the field in general, that goes a long way here.
Yeah, and that's even a lot of clients that we've actually brought on. That's where they've come from, is they're working with a digital marketing company out in California, or out in New York, and they just weren't really getting the services that they needed, the results that they needed, and so they prefer to work with a local business that has services designed specifically for other local businesses.
So you guys have been doing this for a little while now. What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen when it comes to digital marketing, just maybe the last 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, so this is actually year 4 we just hit on August 1st, and I'd say one of the biggest changes that you always see is in the social media side of things. It's always up and down. What's important? What social media platforms the most effective right now? Which ones, on its way out? Oh, what do you know? That one's actually on its way back in. So social media is always changing as to what's going to be the most effective way to reach your clients and what clients you're reaching on which platform. And then on the other thing is a big part of our business is what's called SEO, which is search engine optimization. So getting your website ranking to the top of Google, that's kind of the short of what SEO is. And you can watch, Google comes out with updates every day almost. And, you can watch your traffic go up and down and things like that. So really that's the biggest change, is just how Google makes those changes. And they don't really tell you what the changes are. They just say, hey, figure out what those changes are. We made them. So trying to keep up with those changes and what makes effective SEO and web design solutions that's the biggest change that we deal with on a day-to-day basis at this point.
Yeah, it's one thing you might think a little bit about marketing and people know like, oh, I know how to make a Facebook post or something like that. But when you talk about just that aspect of it, knowing how to do a Facebook post and having the content calendar, knowing what's actually going to attract things, that's a completely different ball game where it's important to get that advice. But then on the SEO side, that, like you said, that continues to evolve on a daily basis too. And then you throw AI search into it as well. And I imagine that's something you're well versed in and learning more about every day, because that's changed how everybody has to present themselves on the internet.
Yeah, absolutely. You look right now, if you go to Google and you say, I want to start brewing my own coffee, how do I do that? You don't even visit a website anymore. Google just kind of gives you the little summary at the top of the search results. And that's what people are using now. And even that plays into the social media where, people of the Gen Z generation, they're using TikTok as a search engine. They don't even use Google anymore. So it's what's changing.
It's funny that you mentioned Gen Z doing that, because my kids will show me like, oh, hey, here's a cool thing on TikTok. Like, it might be something I'm into, like home automation or whatever it is. And I cannot follow along on TikTok. I have to find the similar video on YouTube, because I can follow along better on YouTube for some reason. But I think that speaks to you have to know where your audience is too. And that's where you come in.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime we sit down with a new client, that's one of the first things we have to do is sit down, talk to them and say, who are you actually trying to reach with your business? And then we decide, all right, that's where we're going to start putting more of our efforts then. Or even who do they want to reach? Because sometimes it's, I'm reaching these people, but I really need to start tapping into that younger generation. So that's all part of the strategy.
Time to learn some TikTok dances if that's the case, I suppose.
Yeah, that might extend a little outside my expertise, but
We will bring in an actual Gen Z member to help us through that journey.
yeah.
Now, so if people they're looking to make a change here, maybe they're just getting their business started and they know they need to start being a little bit more serious about their marketing efforts. What's the best way to get in touch with you and sit down and have that conversation?
Best way would be you can go straight to our website. That'll have our contact info there. You can I like to hand out my personal number on all my cards. Everyone that I work with has my personal number. It's 419-721-0774. That's probably going to be the best way to do it, is just calling me and texting me. But either way, website or my phone number is going to be the best way to get in touch with us.
Normally, that's my last question, but I want to wrap up success stories and things you've been able to help people with, and the advantages they saw out of working with you.
Yeah. So I'll do two real quick if I
Yeah.
can. We got on with on the social media side of things, got on with Baker, and their goal was they were brand new. We want to hit 1,000 followers by the end of the year. And it took us about 7 months to get to 1,200 followers is where we looked at. So I was really happy with that result. And then on the SEO side of things, we were working with a moving company, and they just low on business, struggling to start, getting the moves booked and things like that. And usually SEO is a long-term kind of thing, but around the 6th month mark, we actually got them to the number 2 spot on Google, which takes a really long time. And the only one above them was Two Men in a Truck, which is a national chain. And by the time we were done working on their site, they were in the number 1 spot above Two Men in a Truck. So we were really happy to get beating even the national local competition.
That's a great feeling for not just the business, but for you to be able to do that, I would imagine, as well.
Yeah. We're happy with that. That's one of the case studies that we keep and use those results to be like, here's what we can do. So,
well, Stephen, if you want to give your number one more time, we appreciate you joining us here today.
Yeah, my number is 419-721-0774. I appreciate you having me, Doug.
All right. For Stephen, I'm Doug. Have a great afternoon, everybody.